Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Ever17, the Out of Infinity, and today is December 25th, so Merry Christmas, or any other holiday you may celebrate. Hope you're healthy, kind of wealthy. What does that say? Healthy, wealthy, and wise? Hopefully you're wise too. If you're wise, would you be watching me? Who knows? I guess you can watch one crazy guy and learn what not to do, so anyway, I guess that could be wise. But anyway, hopefully you're getting to be with family, taking a day, or if you're a hermit, taking a day to be. Can't talk. It's 12:19 right now. It's midnight. Well, it's after midnight, so I've yet to sleep. It has been a bit since I've slept. I just don't feel like sleeping. It's not like I'm waiting for Santa or nothing, so I think I'm a little bit past that age. Just a little bit. Yeah, hopefully you're with family or spend time with family, resting, and if you're a hermit, hopefully your solitude is suiting you well. So, yeah. Enough of hearing me talking like a crazy person. As I mentioned before, let's get on with the game. Last time, Coco wanted to go apologize to Tsugumi. She seemed not as mean or agitated as normal, so maybe Coco's bringing out a little bit of another side to Tsugumi. Maybe it's melting the ice from the icy surface. Yeah, I think I should just read, shouldn't I? This should be a video. This should be an episode where I just read and don't try to say anything on my own. For instance, I wondered what would have happened if I had come to see her alone. Maybe Tsugumi was opening up to Coco. Maybe she would have been a bit agitated and called him stuff like a hypocrite and their life is meaningless and that she wanted to die. I bet that would have happened.
ねえ、ココ。あの時のことを思い出してみて。ココにパイプを押さえるように頼んだのは誰だった？それは私が頼んだの。ココがあの場所に立ってたのは私が指示を出したから。つまり私のせいなのよ。そんなこと関係ないよ。
You know, it is a little quiet, so let's see here. What is it? Options menu. Let's see what this. Let's see how this is. Yeah, the music's not too loud. Okay, cool deal.
そうかもしれない。関係ないかもしれない。だとしたら、私がココを突き飛ばしたことも、廃材が崩れ落ちてきたことも、誰の責任でもないということになる。物事の因果関係なんて、そんなものなのよ。原因をどんどん突き詰めていっても、無限に広がっていくだけ。原因の原因の原因は何？そんなことを考えても意味がないと思わない？だから私は言ったの。すべては起こるべくして起こったって。
I like how every single conversation this guy seems to begin in seems to hint at the meaning of the game. It's really annoying yet interesting at the same time.
それにね、私があの時したことは犠牲者を最小限に食い止めるための極めて合理的な決断だったと思う。ココは助かった。私もこうして今でも生きている。だったらそれでいいじゃない。私の言ってること。
Sounds like Vulcan logic right there. It's logical that if that one person should get injured rather than one person die. After thinking it over for a while, Coco nodded without much confidence.
今はまだわからなくてもいいの。こんなことを理解するにはあなたはまだ若すぎるから。とにかく自分を責めないで。ほら、そんな泣きそうな顔しないの。
Scooby gently pinched Coco's cheek with her fingers.
いい？わかった？
Coco furrowed her brow and gave a solid nod. Looking for a good time to chime in, I finally found my voice. Scooby had said it was nobody's fault, and I still felt I had to apologize to her. I was the one that had created the opportunity that made the accident possible.
どうしたの？
Sugumi's expression was as mild as before. Sugumi? Just as I was about to say I was sorry, things happened as they were supposed to, I suppose. The shrill scream of a warning siren rang loudly in my ears. What's that? Coco's face went pale. Focusing her eyes on one point on the wall, Sugumi raised her body up. Wait, Sugumi, what are you doing?
調べに行くのよ。
Stupid! You have to rest. You can't go moving around.
大丈夫よ。このぐらいの怪我なら。
No big deal. You're really something. I can't believe you're so stupid. Just stay here and take it easy. I'll go check things out.
でも
No buts. Got it? Don't you move an inch. Cause you do, you have to deal with me. I put my hand on Sugumi's shoulder and laid her back on the bed. As soon as I figure out what is going on, I'll come back. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Saying that, I jetted out of the room. I dashed out of the infirmary, and I'm beginning to regret turning the sound effects up some. I looked to the left and the right. Coco trailing behind me grabbed and squeezed my hand. Coco sounded scared. For now, we'll go to where everybody else is. I pulled along Coco as I ran. I headed for Dritte's stop. I descended the stairs in a blur and peeked in the control room. No one was there. Kicking up water, I sprinted down the corridor. The alarm was still blaring, as you can tell. I strained to listen. I didn't hear the sound of seawater rushing in or the sound of partitions squeaking under pressure. But there was something that I heard in the gaps between the sirens. It sounded like rain. Like water droplets pouring down on water and the sound of the wind cutting through the sky. That's not good. When did Coco ask me that? We were getting closer to the sound of the rain. A low sound and undercut the sound of the siren. Left of the corridor stood a gaping entrance. Dashing into it, our eyes met with a surprising sight. A mass of droplets were showering down from the ceiling. It was the rest area. The whole area was obscured in a fine mist. And smack in the middle of it... Oh, good grief. Yeah, I remember that now. This has been assaulting my ears, and she's to blame. Sora was shining like a rainbow. We worked our way towards Sora through the rain, trying to avoid the moisture as much as possible. 'Cause he'd been walking through water a lot on the corridors of LeMU, so why get more water on you when you can avoid it? Coco and I were already drenched. Sora, what in the world? Sora looked up at the ceiling. I followed her gaze and looked upward. Among the countless particles of mist, something was faintly visible on the other side. Sprinklers? Sora just laughed. She didn't try to answer. Just then... Yu frantically came running into the room. She was holding a fire extinguisher in her hands. She already had removed the safety pin, had the nozzle aimed, and was ready to let loose with it. It's a pretty clumsy looking attempt.
ご心配かけて申し訳ありません。ちょっとかわいそうだと思ったので。かわい
そう? Sora turned her gaze to the flower beds on the ground. Was this all just to water the flowers? Sora just smiled. She didn't try to explain.
じゃあ火事とか爆発とかそういうやつじゃないのね。ええ。本当にすみません。
But Sora's face didn't look like she was sorry. Rather, it looked like Sora was enjoying the droplets showering down from the sprinklers.
びっくりさせないでよ。
It is kind of a bad thing to do. Now the next time it goes off, they'll be like, is that Sora watering the flowers again? That might be Sora watering the flowers again. You know what? I'll just not worry about it. And then they all die.
警備室のモニターに火災警報が出たから慌てて飛んできたのにさ。
It'd be the legend would be called the Sora that made it rain rather than the boy who cried wolf. You replaced the nozzle of the fire extinguisher and the safety pin. Well, at least it was nothing serious. Better than the alternative. By the way, I know make it rain means something. I think, isn't that what they do when, like, with cash or something? Or is there a worse meaning to that? Hopefully it's nothing bad, that means. I think the slang is like when you throw a bunch of cash in the air or something like that. In a movie or something, wasn't it? Crap, I really hope it doesn't mean anything bad. Forget I mentioned it if it does. Coco, you and I heaved a sigh and sat down where we were. The sprinklers hadn't stopped. Sora was staring at the flowers with a look of pity. It looked as if the grass and the flowers are dancing, reveling in the newfound moisture. I looked around the room. I saw them. The kid and Pee-Pee were still running around the statues. You know, it's very strange, but the kid is... The kid is around the dog, around Pee-Pee. But Coco's been actually away for a while from the dog, so it's weird. It's a very great ability to sing. Really deep, moving song. The kid and Pee-Pee were running around in the downpour, screaming out joyfully or insanely, depending on what you're... It went beyond playfulness, it was close to pathological. I wonder if the kid was finally taking the plunge off the deep end. Well, seeing the deep end is a reference to a swimming pool. It's full of water. I guess he picked a good place to do it. I clasped my hands together as if praying for his recovery. Well, please let the insanity remain potentially entertaining and not homicidal. Please, stick with the non-violent insanity.
小雨がちでも帰っちゃう。土砂降りだとしても親戚の結婚式があると嘘をついて休む。
I never got to skip school from rain. I don't think I did. I mean, we get flash flooding here every now and then, but not too bad. Snow? Yeah, in the south, when it snowed, that we were like so shocked that we weren't able to do anything. So yeah, the dog's confused with that. Oh, did they explain it? How long is this song gonna last? But now it makes sense. The kid's drinking. Was somebody push the kid or something and not make him shut up? Wow. He flipped. I like how earlier he was questioning Takshi's sanity, and now Takshi is questioning the kid's sanity. They're all just crazy. Who would be the sane one? Maybe Sora. It's raining. I'm sitting at the tip of the well's nose. Sarah was beside me. She covered her head with her hand to keep the droplets from getting her hair wet.
雨？これは雨じゃないでしょ。クジラが潮を吹いただけ。
I know that. I know it, but it looks like it's raining out to me. Water, misty and drizzling, poured upon us from the sky. The stars reflected lights from the water droplets and emitted the vibrant colors. We were in the cosmos. The whale was alive. At least it seemed that way to me. A whale swimming in the starry sky. His back surging like a wave, he undulated again and again. His soft mouth opened and closed and even puffed up to time to time. About every 3 minutes, he blew out a warm breath through his blowhole. A seawater mist of spray would scatter around the area. Sitting at the tip of his nose, Sarah and I bobbed up and down in time with his movements. Although he undulated so slowly that we could let go with our hands and still feel safe. It was like a cradle rocking back and forth. On the back of the whale, we sailed through the cosmos. Sarah took out the lighter from her pocket and lit it. The shimmering flame colored her face red. She had the pendant in her other hand. The pendant was shaking in Sarah's small hand. It was the same one that she had shown me in the small room in the warehouse. Yeah, was the warehouse when she showed it to him first? Or the, So like there was another room. But then again, this is different, so maybe it doesn't, maybe it changed. Hey Sarah, I'm going to ask you again, but who's the man independent?
それはもう教えたでしょ。
What? That he's from the sun? Oh wait! Yeah, I remember that. There was another, okay, yeah, I remember that now.
うん。
She handed me the pendant and the lighter, and I stared at the image closely. It goes without saying, but he seemed to look like a normal person. I had no idea how people from the sun were supposed to look, but the man in the image at least had the face of an earthling. He looked like an ordinary young man to me. Are you serious? He's from the sun? Ask her.
少年って本当に素直だよね。
You know, there should be some sort of joke I should be able to make about sun people. The closest I can make is a Superman 4 reference, and I should not do that. Because I watched that a few years ago, and it wasn't as good as I remembered it being when I was 10. But that movie was pretty cool when I was 10. What?
太陽星人なんているわけないじゃん。あんな炎の塊みたいなところに生物が存在すると思う？
So you were lying to me.
嘘っていうか冗談っていうか湾曲的な表現っていうか。
What's that supposed to mean?
さてどういう意味でしょう。
Sarah stretched out her arm and put on the lighter. But darkness spread across the cosmos. Wait, she turned off the lighter. Is that what it meant? I put the lighter and the pendant together, returning them to her. Just then, Sarah slid down the back of the well without a word. I hastily followed suit.
このホログラム外じゃなきゃ見えないの。日光が当たらないと見えない仕組みになってるんだ。だから太陽星人だって言ったの。
Sarah stood next to the well and started talking.
小さい頃は本気でそう思ってた。太陽に住んでる人間が作ったから太陽の光がないと見えないんだって信じてたの。で、このペンダントを持ってる私も実は太陽星人の子供で何らかの使命を与えられて地球に送り込まれたんじゃないかって、そんな風に想像してたんだ。今考えればあまりにも幼い妄想だけどね。
Wait a second, Sarah. We're 103 feet underwater. Where is there any sun? Sarah interrupted me and lit the lighter. Light filled the space around us, a flickering flame. Despite the insignificant size, a red color of a sunset shone upon the dome-shaped ceiling.
炎。太陽がなくても炎の明かりさえあれば見えるんだ。このことに気づいたのはだいぶ後になってからなの。10歳か11歳ぐらいの頃だったかな。
Really? Sunlight or flame, huh?
ただし日光や炎があっても見えない人もいる。
People can't see it?
私以外の人全員のこと。このホログラムの画像は私だけにしか見えないの。私だけにしか見えないはずだったの。でもね、つい最近この画像を見れる人が現れて。
This bit of conversation was brilliant in the previous section. Rather than him being like, "Why are you messing with me, Takashi? Look at it! Look at it! Can't you see the guy?" This bit right here would have made all of that not happen. And yeah, you got in on the confusion too, didn't you? Sarah put out the lighter. The darkness came rushing back. She flicked the light on again and put it out. She repeated the action a few times. Then Sarah finally spoke.
少年、君のことだよ。
My scar ached. The old scar on my left thumb.
どうしてだろうね。どうして少年にも見えるんだろうね。ねえ、どうしてだと思う？
Sarah looked upward into my eyes. She pushed the pendant and lighter against my chest.
もう一度見て。
She's asking a very confused guy a lot of questions. So she's hoping for a breakthrough or breakdown, I'm guessing. Striking the flame a little closer at the pendant, a weak 3D image rose dimly before me. It was a man who I hadn't even seen before. Looking at it this closely, I realized that a piece from the mirror was missing. A scar on my thumb, a piece to be filled in. I started to suspect the truth of the matter.
何か思い出さない？心当たりとかない？
No, not really. I was starting to realize, but I shook my head. My scar was itching as if an electric current was running through it.
そっか。
Sarah dropped her shoulders in
こ
disappointment.
こに写ってる人ね。多分パパだと思うんだ。
What? Think he's your father?
うん、そう。私と私のお兄ちゃんのパパ。 して無視するの？パパ。
Well, let me tell you. Because I'm not your dad, that's why.
でも
You
パ
get
パ
no
のい
love
ない
from me,
人は
kid.
パパっぽい人のことをパパって呼んでもいいんだよ。
Okay, you know what? This isn't a hint. This is not a hint. Takushi is not their father. Because that would... I don't know how that even happened.
憲法の前文にそう書いてあるでしょ？
You don't say. Well, I've got 3 things to tell you. First, as far as I know, not one line in the Japanese Constitution corresponds to what you just said. I guess... Okay. Second, I'm not even close to being father of you. Third, you've already got a dad who is still alive and well. So stop calling me daddy, Coco.
やだやだ。パパって呼びたい、パパって呼びたい、パパって呼びたい。
Forget it. I'm already taking a big hit with this stupid nickname Takipon. Don't make me put up with another one like Daddy on top of that.
もうパパの意地悪。
I just told you not to call me that. Coco growled as she glared at me. Well, I wasn't gonna give in either. Coco and I stood face to face with each other on the verge of an outburst. As we stood there, I just couldn't help thinking to myself, how in the world did I end up in this situation? It's a good question. What happened? Flashback! It all happened 30 minutes earlier.
ねえ、たけぴょん、たけぴょん。
Why, zany situation happened to make her want to... Excuse me. Who made her want to call him... What crazy situation made her want to call him her dad? I need to quit doing the sentences like that. I get confused in the middle of it and I get backwards and backwards. So what happened? We're gonna have to find out next time. So I do hope you folks enjoyed, and as I said, I hope you're having a good holidays, or if you're watching this afterwards, had a good holidays, and we'll see you in the next one. And I'm going to I still don't feel sleepy. It's probably gonna be another couple hours before I get to sleep. I'm feeling it a little bit, but yeah, it's probably gonna be a while. So I feel like I'm fixing to sneeze too. So I need to end this. So if you folks enjoyed, I shall see you in the next one. Very well.